Going into the Megamix Mastery, I have to start this by being honest and admitting that I found this really hard. I spent just under 75 minutes trying to do this and it took me 94 goes. I think the best way to show this level is to break down how I beat it obstacle by obstacle. These aren't speedrun tips, but hopefully it will be useful if you just want some advice on how to reach the end. This level is split into 3 sections, although to complete it you do have to do it all in one go. The first section is with this dog power up that rockets you forward. As you start, the first obstacle are these 2 bells. My first few goes I was going from platform to platform to try and knock them off. This can cause problems with the recoil, as shown here. After a few attempts I realised the best method is to blast initially without jumping. This is the right distance to allow you to land on the first platform. You can then blast to the second platform without jumping and it is again the right distance. As you don't jump, you don't hit the bell and you can just ignore it and pretend it's not here. Then you can jump and blast behind the second bell and also ignore this one. The next obstacle is 2 further bells up here. These ones you do have to beat. If you don't, you can't reach the next platform. There were several times I'd hit a bell but then land in the blast area on the recoil. It is best to be patient and wait a few seconds before striking, then you avoid this. After this, some platforms arrive and there is a slime shooter and a homing missile frog. Initially I would go to each platform, but after a few goes I realised that you can miss out the slime shooter entirely to avoid the danger of that. Then with the homing missiles you need to jump wide and then rocket back in to avoid these. Next is what looks like a simple part with this drum, but as it is on electricity, if you don't line this up properly you can fall into it and it is easy to lose your concentration. The final obstacle in this bit are more slime shooters and these are just easy to blast through. Onto section 2 and you now have the monkey symbols. These can move certain platforms when you bang them. The first obstacle here are these turning platforms. These aren't too bad and you can take your time to go one platform at a time and avoid the slime people. After a few goes though I started to find it easier to jump on the first platform, then as you turn them miss out the second and land on the third, and then you can jump from the third straight to the end. As you reach the end there are these electric people, but one bash of your symbols and they are out of the way. You then slide down and come to this wall that you need to climb up. The key here is to not lose momentum. You need to hit your symbols and you get a running start from the fan below, but if you slow down at any point you do fall off. This did take me several goes to get used to the timings and when to press, but the tactic here is to just go for it. You don't have time to be hesitant. It is tricky, you need to navigate your direction, hit your symbols, and also punch the slime people, as if you tried to jump on them you would fall. You need to figure out how to do all that at once, but after a few goes you do get the timing. At the top you then have these birds firing at you. Hitting your symbols alternates the platforms, but also the side that the birds shoot from. I did however find this far easier to do without hitting your symbols at all. Just jump to the left and keep doing a side jump to the right to avoid these. It is then onto the worst bit of the level, these rotating shapes. Before getting on these you need to hit your symbols to change the rotation direction. This is because on the first shape you need to hit this blue jump pad to get onto the second. It is then possible to do the second shape rotating as it is, but I found it far easier if you hit your symbols again and make this rotate the alternative way. From here you need to go right but jump and land on the narrow neck of the next shape to avoid the electricity. There is also a pumpkin shooter trying to hit you here, but I would just focus on the shape and not falling off. You're moving around enough on this so you'll likely dodge it by accident anyway. You are now up to the final section with the hen that can rocket you upwards. First up, there are these rotating electric shapes. It is best to jump and use your rocketeer before you use your laser boots, then if you need to reposition yourself in the landing you can use them then. If you do it the other way around and use your laser boots first before firing up, you can't then use them on the landing. After these there is this slide. As you can see it goes into the electricity, so jump before the end and rocket up to avoid this. There is then another slime shooter at the top, but that's not much of an issue. Then there are these 2 electric runners. You can avoid them and just go past and shoot up, but as they challenge the floor I did find that I sometimes still hit this, so I found it easier to just get rid of them with my electric boots before moving on. Next up is the bird shooter. You need to rocket over these, but again, what you can do, try and jump and use the rocket and then use the laser afterwards. It gives you a few extra seconds in the air to avoid these. Now we start with the wall climb. These platforms do crumble and fall away, but you do get a few seconds, so don't feel rushed and feel you have to jump instantly. You can take time to position your jumps. After the green slime, you need to rocket up and you are immediately jumped on by these electric bombs. It is best to start holding your square button whilst going up, then you can spin and get rid of these as you land. You then need to rocket up again, and wherever you see these metal pipes sticking out, you can also stand on these if you need a few seconds rest to think about what you're doing, and you're on a platform that won't crumble after a few seconds. A few more rockets and then you're at the top. Here is where you have to face the final obstacle, this electric box. I did initially try and get the box positioned, then the rope was at the top, and I could shoot up from there, but I found this very difficult. In the end, the best tactic is to sprint at it immediately and fly up before the cube has chance to move again after its first turn. And then you're done. Easy as that. If you're curious where all my 94 attempts ended, I had 8 fails at the first set of bells, 13 on the second set of bells, 10 ended with the Slimer and homing frog. There were 6 mistimed jumps at the drum. None of them ended with these slime people, they're useless. Surprisingly, only 1 ended on these turning platforms. 7 times I fell off the wall climb. 5 times I was hit by these cymbal birds. Whopping 22 times the run ended on these rotating shapes. 4 times it ended on these electric hen shapes. Twice I messed up on the slide. No times did this Slimer get me. 3 times it ended on these little electric people. 3 times it ended on the hen birds. 6 times it ended on the climb. 4 times it ended with the box. And finally, the last run ended with me succeeding. Here it is then, the final run where I complete it. As on my last upload, I'll not give a spoiler here on who you unlock, but I do have a separate upload coming where I will explain who these 5 new characters are. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.